And we're live. Welcome everyone to Retro Fandango, episode number 174. I'm Barry.
Do you know if those numbers are accurate?
What numbers?
Like the episode numbers?
I'm guessing.
I think we might have made a few mistakes here and there.
Have we? Well,
I get that feeling. Sometimes when you make a copy of the outline,
yeah,
you got to change the number. I think sometimes maybe I've forgotten, but
that means that we would have to go and count. Maybe we should just stop numbering the episodes.
Maybe just put the date.
Yeah, who cares? Just this is the show on this date.
Yeah,
that's good enough.
Like a real radio broadcast. You know?
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, that would be the most real thing we've ever done, but anyways, house cleaning. Quick Save Club. Still playing racing games till the end of the month. Go check that out. Going to be recording soon, I guess, within the next 15 days. Exciting stuff.
Oh, really? You're actually going to record this one?
Yes.
Not
hopefully.
Push it off for 2-3 months?
I might have to do it myself. Even if I got to do it myself, I'll just sit there and talk about racing games.
That is the brilliant move of having 3 hosts, is if somebody flakes on you, we can still do it.
Yeah. Next month, we're going to be talking about mods on the Quick Save Club, our favorite mods. Then in April, it's going to be a new season of the Quick Save Club. We're going back to our monthly format. Enough of this every 2 months business because we felt like we were just losing too much steam. So in April, it's going to be Shadow Warrior, May, Crystal Caves, and in June, Faster Than Light, FTL.
That game's rough.
FTL?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I only played it for 15-20 minutes, but I imagine there's a little learning curve there.
Yeah, there is. And I've only made it to the end a few times, but I've never been able to finish the end.
The end of a particular mission or the end of the game?
Well, you go through, you got to make it from one end of the map to the other end of the map, right? So I've done that. I've done that a few times. I've made it to the other side of the map. And once you get there, you have to fight bad guys while the end of the world is coming.
The ship and everything.
Yeah, and the end of the world is coming towards you. So I've made it there a few times, but I've never beat the game. It's because it's like a true roguelike. You don't get to build up your characters or anything like that. When you restart from scratch, and you have to just take everything you've learned and rely on luck and that. So it's not an easy game, but it is a fun game. Cartridge Club is playing Ghostbusters, and next month they're playing Ninja Turtles, some Ninja Turtle games. And RFGen is playing the NES Disney Capcom games, The Little Mermaid, Chippendale, and Chippendale Rescue Rangers, not Chippendale Strippers, and DuckTales.
That would have been an interesting title on the NES. Can't imagine kids would be happy with that.
Fandango
picks up the wrong one.
Fandango this month is Godfather 1 and 2. I see some people out there have watched the movies already. I haven't yet, but I will soon.
Me neither. Jeez, 9 hours to this.
Is it 9? What? No, 6. Well, if you watch the third one,
if it was the third one.
Yeah.
Hey, see what I'm doing? Look at this. Rolling up the sleeves.
It's getting ready.
23 degrees today.
My goodness.
Yeah. While you sit there with your little hat on.
It's freezing. We're minus 19.
Get out of here. Minus 19?
Yeah. Celsius. Not Fahrenheit. Celsius.
Celsius?
Yeah.
What does it even equate to? Is that a real number?
Aren't you guys? You guys are Celsius over there in Japan.
Yeah, but minus 19? Get out of here. That's ridiculous.
I live in Canada, man. That's nothing. My buddy Deke, he's down to minus 30 with a wind chill of minus 45.
Oh, gee. C2F.
And yes, Bill, I am still wearing the toque.
I've never had to experience minus 19.
You've never experienced minus 19?
Well, in Celsius, so minus 2.2 Fahrenheit.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. That doesn't sound so impressive.
Well, that's because you're using lousy American numbers. True Canadian numbers is -19. That's cold, man.
That sounds cold. Minus
It is.
2.2 is like, hey, button up your coat.
I don't think so, man. Fahrenheit? No, I don't think so. No, yeah, no, it's cold down here. It's freezing. I just turned on the fireplace, so that's why my toque is on. But if you want to see what's under there, maybe stay tuned until the end of the show, and I'll show you what's under there.
All the gory details.
It's absolutely. I made the mistake last night of saying on Bill's show that there's nothing under there. Oh. And Denise over there in the comments picked up on that right away. Like, nothing under there, eh? Like, yeah. Good one, Denise. You got me. Bill is asking about the earthquake in Japan.
Yes, there was. I'm just looking at it now. Not my area, but the same area as the nuclear reactor that had all those issues many years ago.
Yeah. So hopefully it's not bad. Hopefully.
Well, hopefully, in all honesty, I hope this makes people really, really reconsider this whole stupid Olympic thing. Can we just cancel those already?
I know.
Are there enough warning signs that this is not a good idea?
The hilarious thing is Florida, of all places, wants to pick it up. They're like, we'll do it. Of course, Florida. It's always Florida.
My goodness.
All right. Well, do you want to talk about something?
I got to read this outline again because I can't remember what.
Well, you put in middle-aged doctor visit.
Right. I got that.
You really need to read the whole thing? You can't just...
I'm seeing what you put in here because...
You don't need to see that. We'll get to it. We'll get to it eventually.
Okay. Well, unrelated to the doctor visit I have listed here is I had to postpone today's recording because, I don't know, maybe you can hear it in my voice, but I wasn't feeling too well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And I think due to the wonderful weather we're having here, it might be a little bit of early onset hay fever.
Oh, great.
Because the trees are budding. There's like little things going on outside. Stuff's starting to grow again. And the other day I was out trimming some trees and cutting down some branches and stuff. And I think I got a good whiff of stuff. So I started getting a sore throat and headache and all that. It's not fun.
No, doesn't sound like it.
But a week ago, I got to go to the doctor. Because I had something. What did I have? I don't remember.
I can't remember.
My throat. Did I talk about this at all on the air?
Yeah.
I started feeling the heartburn and like I was choking on stuff. So basically, the doctor said it was probably just acid reflux, but have the camera test just in case to make sure there's nothing funny going on there. So I'm not allowed to eat breakfast on that day, which makes me really aggravated. I'm very cranky when I don't have my meal. But I show up to the doctor and, they take me in there, sit me on a gurney, and they hand me a cup of something. I don't know what it is. They're like, drink this. I'm like, okay, whatever. Which makes me wonder why everyone's so trusting when you go to the doctor. Like, they just hand you things to drink or, like, put in your body, and you're like, sure, no problem. You know?
Could be anything.
It could be some sample they had from the next patient. Whatever. I drank that down. And then they lay me down, start putting the IV in and everything. So they got to put me under to do this camera test. And this was the first time, like I've been in doctor's offices and I've been on gurneys before, but it's the first time I was ever on a gurney that moved. Like they rolled me from one position to another. That was a strange sensation. Have you ever experienced that?
I knock on wood. I haven't been to a hospital since I was a kid. Like admitted into a hospital since I was a kid.
Right. I've never been admitted. Like I've never had to stay in a hospital, outside of whatever the procedure time is. But yeah, it was the first time I ever got moved. And, of course, everybody's wearing masks. And I'm glad I had it on because I had a big smile on my face. It's just like, whee! Moving around on a gurney. So then they put in that injection to make you go to sleep, and they're like, okay, you're gonna start to feel sleepy. Just count backwards from 10 and take deep breaths. So I start doing that, and like magic, just a couple seconds later, I feel like I'm waking up. Again, my gurney's been moved. I have no recollection of the test. I don't know what they did to me, if they actually even did the test or whatever. But I got some photos of the inside of my throat. And my memory was really fuzzy for the next couple hours that day. Like, I went to see the doctor, talk to the doctor after the test, and I got some medication and everything. And then later on when I was home, I realized, like, I don't really remember. Did I talk to the doctor? When did this happen? And that stuff messes with your head. But all good. They just gave me some meds. Time travel, right?
Yeah, that's what Joe experiences every day.
Fast forward to the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've just been popping some pills and I haven't had any issues. But I've also been just more attentive to my diet, avoiding the spicy stuff, trying not to overeat. And then because of this headache and stuff I got, I'm avoiding caffeine right now. So just kind of sleepy.
Yeah, that's rough. So do you have results for, like, did they say anything? Like anything strange?
No, I think I got my file right here if you want to see some pictures.
Yeah, sure.
Got some meds. No, I mean, it's really just it's basically just be careful. I'm old. Just stick me on the cover for it.
Oh, I thought you were going to show some pictures, some photos.
Oh, yeah, I got some. Hang on. There we go.
Bill needs to see.
There you go.
He's old. I don't want him to
the inside of my throat.
Ew.
Look at that.
Ew.
Oh, yeah.
Gross.
Oh, look at that one. That was nice and red.
Huh.
See, you don't even know what part of my body this really is. It could be any old tube.
Or maybe I do.
I got those pictures too.
I bet.
I've had a couple of those camera tests.
I bet you those are OnlyFans. Box OnlyFans.
I'm old. That's it.
So that's it. Yeah.
Yep.
So there's nothing you can do. They just say
careful.
eat better. See, like that's how I look at it. Like if you're having a lot of heartburn, you go to the doctors. They'll give you medication or whatever. But to me, it's like your body saying, "Stop eating crap. Stop eating garbage. You can't handle stuff."
Your body tells you what it is. The only thing is, I didn't know what that message was. I didn't know that choking meant heartburn.
Right. Yeah.
So I'm happy to go for those cautionary exams of like, there's nothing funny growing here, nothing weird going on. And then, it's just, like I said, the advice is always the same. Lose a few pounds, cut back on the salt, cut back on the sweets, go to bed early, get a good rest. And that's all your medical advice when you're older.
Yep. Pretty much. Oh, there, big nose blow. Guys are missing this. If you're audio only, you miss all that stuff.
Hey, at least I bring my sanitizer.
Oh, very good.
So you don't get sick. Watching out for you.
I don't think we could be more socially distant.
Those computer viruses and such.
All right. What's
we are the kings of social distance.
What's Goodbye Thtar Warthz?
Thtar Warthz.
Yeah.
Well, if you listen to the latest Retro Nonsense podcast, which is really living up to the name with their views. They did a whole big Star Wars episode, and they
2 hours.
They purposely devoted a large chunk, I'd say about like an hour and 15 minutes of that was just talking about how much they hate Star Trek.
Yeah, and why Star Wars
Star Trek is inferior.
Yeah.
and why nobody wants to be Captain Kirk and everybody wants to be Han Solo.
Yeah.
But no, I listened to the episode, and we've done a Star Wars episode here. We
Mhm.
watched the original trilogy.
Yep.
And it just made me realize that, we got called out by name, of course, for our views on Thtar Warthz. And
Yes.
it just made me realize, you know what? I've had my fun. So I am hereby retiring the Thtar Warthz joke.
No, you're not.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
I'm at least going to try to not do it.
No, you're not. You're going to continue to do it.
Kevin, I love Star Wars. Star Wars, The Empire Strikes Back,
Yep.
Return of the Jedi.
Yep.
That's good stuff.
Yep.
I love watching
Yep.
those movies.
Yep.
And sometimes I think, oh, it'd be awesome to have a lightsaber
Mhm.
and fly around in a little spaceship and shoot
Yeah.
TIE fighters.
Yeah.
And after I listened to that episode, I threw on that Battlefront 2 and flew around and shot up some Star Destroyers. I usually uninstall games when I'm done with them. That one has stayed with a little desktop shortcut on my computer for a very long time.
Have you gone back and tried Rogue Squadron? Tried that?
No, I should get back to that one though. But I had real difficulty with the controls. That's one of the reasons I tried it on the N64. But I think I'm gonna go for the PC version. I just gotta get a handle on the controls.
Yeah, I had to run it as an administrator, and then that allowed me to switch everything up to the Xbox controller.
Oh,
yeah, nice. And it worked. It worked well.
It
worked nicely. The reason why I say you're not going to give it up is because they don't let Star Wars die, and by they I mean everybody. It just continuously goes on and on.
Well, look, I'm making that clear cut of original movies and some of the expanded universe and stuff around there. The back when it was somewhat contained of that's what Star Wars was, and just the universe in general is really fun. But the prequels, I've made my peace with them. They're not great, and to this date, I've still never owned them. I don't know if I ever will. That second movie was so bad. I saw it only once in the theater. Although I feel like I've seen it multiple times because of those Mr. Plinkett videos.
That's right, yeah.
Those I've seen many times over.
Yeah.
And then the sequels, I still haven't seen the last one.
Me
and
neither.
I'm never going to watch that garbage second sequel again.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you 100%. First three movies, maybe the cartoon droids. That's it.
Well, that's as far as the films watching for entertainment. Yeah, that's it.
Right.
But then there's the whole hey, Jedi, Sith, Stormtroopers. Isn't that fun? I got a little Darth Vader and some Stormtroopers on the shelf.
But it never ends. That's the problem. It's like you think that, okay, I'm done with this. I'm like you said, made your peace with all the extra movies and that. And so have I. I don't care anymore. Like whatever, they are what they are. We're not going to get a time machine and go back and be able to fix it. So it is what it is. Those original three movies are ruined. The sequels and prequels didn't ruin it. George Lucas ruined them when he, took them and remade them so many times that the original movies don't exist anymore. But whatever, it is what it is. But here's the thing. The machine keeps moving. They never stop. It'll never stop.
It makes a lot of money. There's no reason for them to stop.
Right. So then you think it'll be done with it for now, but when they announce the next movie, and then there's the next build up, and then there's the trailers, and then there's all the tie-in stuff, and then when you go in the store and you just want to buy a bag of oranges, and you pick up the bag of oranges, and BB-8 is looking back at you, you'll be back to saying Thtar Warthz.
Yeah,
I guarantee you.
Hey, at least right now, out of respect, I'm going to make an attempt to not. Because and again, it is like I said. There's the division. There's Star Wars, and then there's the thing I can't say.
Well, I did ask them this I asked Duke this specifically in the Discord, and he never answered me. So maybe he'll answer me if I ask here, because sometimes he'll comment in our Discord. But the thing I don't understand is that he kept bringing up how he didn't like Star Trek because he didn't like Star Trek as a kid. And I don't understand how that, like, I there's tons of stuff I didn't like as a kid. I didn't like Star Trek as a kid.
No, I did. It was really heady. Like if I ever tried to watch, my uncle would watch it all the time. And if I tried to watch an episode of the original series, I'd sit there and look around like, hey, that looks cool. And there's a guy with pointy ears. And whoa, that was a phaser. But then they'd start talking and you're like, okay, this keeps going. You know, like they weren't talking to little kids, you know.
No.
This was meant for adults to think about, you know, and
like I remember
it takes a while.
My parents would try to get me into Star Trek all the time. Like I remember when I was a kid, I was downstairs playing, and my mom was like, "Kevin, come upstairs. Star Trek 3 is on TV. They're playing Star Trek 3." And I'm like, "Okay, I don't really like Star Trek." And I run upstairs and I start watching it, and it was that scene where Kirk is with Sarek, Spock's dad, and Sarek is looking inside of Kirk's head for the Contra, trying to figure out where it is. And you know, I'm sitting there and I'm like, this is so boring. I don't care. I'm going. So I snuck back downstairs to go play because I didn't. So it wasn't until, and that was like, I don't know, I was maybe 10, but fast forward 2-3 years later, I'm flipping through the channels and I catch that episode of The Next Generation. I remember I flipped the channel and there's a guy lying on the ground and this bug comes out of his mouth. And I'm like, what the hell is this? And they're examining the guys, and the bad guys are the ones that they couldn't tell who's who, but they had like this spike coming out of the back of their necks. And every time they would stun them with the phaser, they would fall down and the bug would come crawling out of their mouth. I'm like, this is Star Trek. And then at the end of that episode, when they blow that guy's head off, oh my goodness. And that was it. I was hooked every day. At I think it came on at 5 o'clock. I'd be watching, or 7. It was after supper. I'd be watching Star Trek: The Next Generation. I was hooked. And then they played Star Trek 4 on TV. Love that. So now I'm a fan of the original series, and you know, but you know, it hit me at that right age. You know, like again, if I was 10, I don't know if I would have if I would have stayed with it. It might have been too scary for me when I was 10. But 12, 13, 14, I was somewhere in that age. Yeah, that's when it and it was like the show had been on for about 3 or 4 years already. That was like a rerun, you know, of season 1. So I think it was like 1990 or 1991 before I started watching it. But it was good.
Yep.
Good times.
Good stuff. You know, one of the things I learned from listening to that episode is just how much Star Wars influenced these guys when they were kids. Because I'm going to wager, I think I know the answer here. How many Star Wars toys did you have growing up, Kevin?
Yeah, not a lot. See, they're a little bit older, right? And I had friends who were a little bit older too, and they were right in that window where, you know, Star Wars was the biggest thing. Phaser, Duke says they are lasers.
Yeah, Star Trek lasers.
Okay. Yeah, they're right in that window where I'm. My thing was He-Man. It was He-Man and then Ghostbusters, and then that was it. You know, those were my two big things. A little bit of Mask in there, but that was it. Whereas Star Wars toys is something that you would go and play at someone else's house because their older brother had a bunch of Star Wars toys. So, you know, you'd like, okay, let's play some Star Wars. Or sometimes they would come on TV and I would make like Legos. You know, I would grab my Legos and make Star Wars ships out of Legos. That was it.
Yeah, I know for sure that I had 3 Star Wars figures. I had a Jedi Knight Luke, I had Chewbacca, and I had an Emperor's Royal Guard.
That was it.
Have fun with that scenario. You know, like, I don't know what kind of space adventure I'm having. But you listen to them, and man, they had everything. They had the ships, they had play sets, they had a whole bunch of the figures, and I had friends like that had those the Darth Vader or C-3PO carrying case.
Yep.
You open them up and it had the names of all the characters. You're supposed to put them in the little slots.
Yep.
So yeah, I mean, certainly if I had a bunch of that stuff, maybe it would have been more active in my head as a kid. But like as a little kid, I wasn't like, wow, Star Wars, everything Star Wars. I had a couple of figures, and then I think, oh no, how the tides have turned, huh? I'm suddenly not the only one who blows his nose on screen.
That's.
Check the video.
I could have taken myself down, but I didn't want Richard to feel alone. That's why I did it.
Sure, that's why. With your minus 19. So I don't know. I didn't have a bunch of those toys, but it sounds like they were just absorbed in that world. You know, it was just a cyclone around them growing up. Just Star Wars is the thing. And I got it years later with the Ninja Turtles. That was the one I got sucked into. So I get it.
Yep.
One thing, though, as they were talking about all those movies, I was wondering why. And I wondered this for a while, because every time people talk about Star Wars movies, they always seem to forget one. Because there was all the live action stuff, and then you got those like Ewok Endor movies, and I've heard people talk for those. But another theatrical release was that Clone Wars, the animated Clone Wars movie that came out like in 2005, 10, something like that.
There was.
I always wonder why people forget all about that. And then the latest episode of STC Pod, they talked it up for like a good 10 minutes.
Oh. I didn't know that was.
I'm not alone here.
I thought it was a TV show.
It's a TV show, but they did have a theatrical release movie. And I remember going to see it thinking, wow, this is interesting. Now Star Wars has an animated movie, and it really wasn't that good. And the only thing I remember about it is it had something to do with Jabba the Hutt, and they didn't have the theme, the Star Wars theme in the opening crawl. They had some kind of like contemporary rock music or something in there.
Oh, see, that's what they should have done with the original cast when they brought them back. Do an animated thing. So playing that Ghostbusters, the video game, and that's the way to do it. You know, when your cast is too old, bring them back in animation.
That's what the Trailer Park Boys are doing.
Yeah, why not? Although I think they're coming back live action, but not on Netflix. They're doing their own thing again.
I've watched so much of that now that I'm kind of done.
Yeah.
You guys can do that until you're 60, 70 years old if you like.
Well, they keep making money and they got fans, so they just keep cranking it out. But there is a saturation point. I'm not sure if I've reached it yet, but I don't know if it's like if I'm motivated to watch the stuff that's proprietary to their web.
I'd rather go back and just watch the
first season.
The first season again.
Yeah.
I still don't know about your whole bootleg tape of all the underground stuff they did first, but just the official first season to a good point, and I'm happy.
Yeah. Okay.
Torchlight 2.
Sure.
I listened to that episode, and I was wondering why you and Ryan, which good job, by the way.
Thank you.
Sorry, Frantic, didn't like the game or so?
Apparently.
Is kind of what hinted at?
Yeah.
I'm just wondering why you didn't go into detail on the names of your characters or the pets you chose.
I have no idea.
No? What was the name of your character?
I don't remember the name.
Oh, you do remember the name of your character.
It might have been like it was probably something like Seymour Butts or something like that.
Clever.
Yeah.
Well, I mentioned the pets because I do have a legitimate question, because you and Ryan both said that you played through multiple times. Did you use the same pet? If you use the same character?
Yes.
I imagine so.
Yeah.
I'm just curious. Like you can choose like a bird or a wolf or like a bunch of different things.
Yep.
Does that have any effect on the pet's abilities in game?
I don't think so. I think that it's just an
It's
aesthetic.
just, yeah, that's it.
But the fish that you catch and you can feed to your pet, that will enhance their abilities. Like
Right.
that could change your dog into a spider, and your spider will be able to like spit venom or something like that.
Right, but like I chose a wolf, so I was wondering if like a wolf versus a bird, like would the wolf be able to carry more, or
No,
maybe the bird would come back from town faster? There's none of that.
No.
No little details. Okay.
No.
All right.
No.
Just curious.
If anyone's wondering what we're talking about in the game, you it's like a Diablo game where you're down into the dungeons and you're running around and you're fighting and that, and you have a pet with you that helps you out, that assists you, and you can load up your pet full of inventory stuff. They have a limited inventory, and while you're fighting, as soon as that inventory is full, you can say to your pet, "Okay, go back to town and sell all that stuff in your inventory, so you don't have to keep going back and forth between town." Between town and fighting, you could just keep fighting, which is a really nice feature in the game. Keeps the flow going.
Yep.
But yeah, honestly I don't remember. It's probably something like Herb Eversmells or something like that. You know,
I don't think I've ever heard that one before.
I always name them like stupid names like that, and then the pets, I don't know. It was probably like dog or whatever. I didn't care.
Doggy.
Okay, so we talked about best days to watch Star Trek.
Right.
I just want to mention that accountability is not cancel culture. It seems like every time
politics
something happens, it's like, oh, that's cancel culture. They kicked that person off that show because that's cancel culture. You know, if somebody does something wrong, there's accountability. You got to be accountable for what you say and what you do, and that includes what you do on social media. So if you do something wrong on social media and you continue to, like these people have, then they get kicked off the show. That's being held accountable. You got a position, a luxury position when you're working for Disney and you're on a TV show like Star Wars, you know, and it's not something that, like you're working at McDonald's or something like that, struggling to feed your family and you said something wrong and they fired you over it. I mean, this is a luxury position, you know, and you got to be better than everybody else when you're in those positions. And when you're not,
I'm out of the loop here. What happened on this?
There was
show?
One of the actresses on The Mandalorian, Mando. Oh, I don't know. She just said some bad stuff on Twitter. What specifically? It was like, I mean, basically, she was standing up for Nazi soldiers. She was like, Nazi soldiers didn't kill Jews. It was Jews that killed other Jews. It's like, I don't think so. So they fired her from the show. Now everyone like got all upset and said, "Oh my goodness, they fired her from the show." Meanwhile, she's really not that big of a deal on the show, apparently, from what I'm told.
I thought you watched that show.
Eh?
I thought you watched that show.
I watched the first season. I didn't watch the second season. I barely remember her on the first season. I think she came in later because they became a group later. He was a loner at the beginning, and then he got like a couple of people. So I barely remember her. But apparently, like in the second season, she wasn't that big of a deal. But they were talking about spinning off her show, like spinning her character off onto its own show. And everyone got all like, "Oh, look at that! She can't do that spin-off show." Meanwhile, they canceled that back in November for her doing something similar in November. So it's repeat offenses. You know, it's not like as if it's one-time thing and then that's it. Cancel culture. It's holding her accountable for what she's doing. And it's other stuff on Twitter. There's a few other things that are happening on Twitter as well, but that was one of them. And Bill says she wasn't the greatest actress either. And I've heard that as well. A lot of people were not happy with her acting. I really have no opinion because I hardly remember her. So that's it. That's all I wanted to say.
People getting upset because they can't have more Star Wars.
Star Wars.
See?
And the show's not canceled. She's not canceled. She's doing exactly what she chose to do. When she went on Twitter and she spewed that stuff out, that's what she chose to do. And now she's dealing with the consequences of that. And apparently she's going to be on a show with Ben Shapiro or some sort of movie, some Ben Shapiro movie. So good luck with that. Good luck with that. Oh, and then I got reports of you playing hooky while I was
Hooky?
on Bill's show. Apparently,
Was
there were
I?
some people that were on their computer watching Bill's show,
Mhm.
and then
Yes.
while they were watching, there were notifications being popped up saying, "Hey, look at this! Ramvox is playing Ghostbusters, the video game, right now."
Oh, absolutely.
And they were reporting to me saying, "Hey, I thought Richard was sick. What's he doing
Mhm.
playing Ghostbusters, the video game? Because when you're sick and you're too sick to do a podcast,
Mhm.
you should be in bed drinking hot tea with lemon and honey."
Right. I wasn't playing Ghostbusters at 6 o'clock in the morning. I slept in.
It was 11 o'clock at night.
It certainly wasn't this time.
No.
Because I was asleep this time yesterday.
Wait a minute. No, we saw it at 10:30 this morning. We saw it. I'm pretty sure we saw it pop up that you were playing Ghostbusters, the video game, which would have been 11:30.
Oh, last night?
Yeah.
Like my last night? Yes, that's true.
There you go. Well, of course it's true. I know it.
Yeah. I never said I was too sick to do the podcast. I said I wasn't feeling well and I wanted to sleep in because I had a headache the entire day previously. So I was very tired. I wanted to sleep in.
Well, I just wanted to say that all the people who gave me the reports, it's appreciated, but I already knew that Richard just wasn't feeling well and he just asked for an extra day. So it's okay. It's not that big of a deal. It's okay. But thank you for the reports. Thank you for keeping an eye on Richard. I know we all need to collectively. So that's good.
I'm glad that everybody knows exactly what I'm doing at all times.
Yeah. There was some serious discussion about canceling Richard, doing some cancel culture on Richard on Fandango. But I did not think it was a fireable offense. For this
what inanimate object would I be replaced with? Not the soundboard. You lost that one a while ago.
Oh man, you know what? I'm making some headway on the soundboard. I don't want to promise anything because we all know that's a mistake, but there's some headway being made, and it may be returning soon. Maybe. No promises.
I don't believe you.
What time was that? 37? Okay, I might need that clip. I might need that clip for next week. All right.
Speaking of Ghostbusters.
Yes.
I have been playing the Ghostbusters.
Are we allowed to talk about that? Or do we have to save it for the Cartridge Club?
I'll hang on to it, but
all right.
I've been playing the Ghostbusters.
I am curious. I'm curious what had happened, what expired and expired? No.
Things there was doings a transpiring.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to movies and TV.
Oh,
so you watched In and of Itself. Maybe we should say that to the end. Make it a little spoilery at the end.
Well, I don't mind doing it right now because I just want to say I watched it. Thank you, Bill, right? Bill put it in the file folder. And you told me to go in cold. So thank you for that. I'm very glad I watched it. I would love to talk about it, but at the same time, I don't want to spoil it for anyone else who might watch it.
Were you moved by it?
I did a lot of thinking. I did a lot of thinking. It wasn't a pardon me a moment.
Well, the reason why I wanted to save it to the end was that I am like I don't know. I can't talk about it without spoiling it a little bit. But
it's tough. It's tough to talk about that.
Well, the movie's in the Fandango folder if you want to go check it out. Anyone, Bill put it in there for us, so thank you, Bill. I wasn't as moved as some of the people who are on the screen, and I think I have some hang-ups, and I think that's why I wasn't. But I guess that's all I could say. Anyways, do the PM thing.
I thought it was a wonderful little thing. I really wish I could have been there live. That would have been an interesting experience.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of food for thought. There was a definite message, and you don't often get that with movies anymore. So it was nice. I mean, documentary, film version.
See, this
I
is
don't
what I
know
want
how you want to describe it.
You're getting into what I want to talk about, and I don't want to ruin it for people. So that's kind of why I wanted to save it.
Well, you just said it. It's there in the Fandango folder. Yeah. Give people a little time. Anyone who's interested or curious can go check it out.
Yeah.
And then, I don't know, a couple of weeks down the line.
All right. Then maybe we'll get into it more. But, yeah. Okay. Cobra Kai Season 2. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, I was going to ask. I was actually going to write that in here. So, Season 2. Okay.
That's right. I watched all of Season 2. Okay. Now, we're actually into Season 3 now. And I got to say, Season 2, excuse my language, cover your kids' ears. It makes no fucking sense. I mean, Season 1 made sense. You had the two dojos, right? And they're fighting because there was this competition that they both wanted to win.
Right.
The entirety of Season 2, I could not understand why they were fighting. Why do they keep fighting? What are they like? You're on your side doing your thing with the Mr. Miyagi thing. They're on their side doing their Cobra Kai thing. They're not there's nothing to bother each other with. Like there's no competition. Why are they like? Who cares? Just leave each other alone. You'd be fine. It makes no sense. And the thing just kept building up and getting worse and worse. It's like, why are you fighting? There's no reason for you to fight.
Exactly. This is why I like the Karate Kid movie. It was a self-contained little story, and it kind of had an ending. And at the end of that movie, you get the idea that Johnny Lawrence he realized, okay, I was being a jerk. Go into the TV show, and that's drawn out. They fudge the storyline a little bit, but once you get to Season 2, and I imagine you have some thoughts about that last episode.
Yeah.
It's just teenage drama and teenage fights, and they're trying to do these like Daredevil hallway fights, in every episode. It's just ridiculous to be having teenagers doing this stuff. I don't know. This is my hang up with the show, where I enjoy the show and I'm going to keep watching it, but it's gotten to the point that it's so stupid.
Yeah.
With these teenage triangles.
Bill's saying ego. But what was the competition? What ego were they like? What were they trying to prove? Like,
it's just an excuse. I mean, it's just you have a show with a bunch of teenagers and they all know karate, so inevitably that's what you got to do. And the core fan base for this show, they're eating it up.
Yeah,
we want to see these crazy fights.
But I at least give them some motivation to fight each other. Like I understand, like there was like a little bit like, okay, he pinched some students from the other one and that kind of pissed them off or whatever, but there was really there was just no reason to fight. It just made no sense. I don't know. Anyway, so now it's turning into a soap opera too, because right now they got as I'm watching it, they got the one kid in the hospital, so I'm waiting for someone to be in a courtroom very soon, because every time you turn on a soap opera, someone's in the courtroom and another person's in the hospital. Pretty soon it's going to turn into that. But whatever. I'm still watching it too. I'm still enjoying it for what it is. It just makes no sense. That's the only thing. Like
there are moments. There are certain characters that when they focus on them, again, the main adults.
So Bill's right. The love triangle is really stupid in the show. Yeah. And apparently Season 3 gets worse, so I can't wait.
Well, it continues it.
You're right.
Certainly. And yeah, it's all the teenage stuff. If you just cut back on that. But I guess this is kind of what they did. I haven't seen it, but that they remade Full House and then they just focused on the kids.
Mm-hmm.
I'm afraid that this show is going to get too far away from the main characters and just focus on all those younger kids.
Yeah, honestly, I wasn't a fan of Full House on the first run.
Nobody was.
So the second one, I'm not looking at it, but I still enjoy parts of it though. You know, like this whole Reese guy, and he comes back, and it's just so dumb.
Yeah, they do a bit more with him in season 3, backstory and all that.
Yeah, I've seen a little bit of that already. I think we're on episode 3. Well, we finished episode 3, so at least it's short, and you know, you get through them quick enough.
Yeah.
Okay, I finally watched, after all these years, I have finally have seen Tron. It was on the Disney Plus.
Oh, look at that. There it is.
Yeah.
There. Mm-hmm.
So I finally watched Tron.
How'd you like that?
I didn't. It was stupid. Made no sense. I gave it on my letterbox. I gave it 3 stars for the special effects, which I normally don't do because I normally don't care about special effects. But in this movie, it was so unique and so well done, and like just they came up with the whole look and everything, and it's something that hasn't been replicated in any other movie. It's kind of like proprietary to this movie. Like I don't think anyone can copy it, and it fits like their whole sci-fi thing. So I gave it 3 stars for that, but anything else in the movie is just dumb. Like it makes no sense. Like they got this big program who's kind of taking over all the small programs, or it is taking over all the small programs because I guess it just wants to be the only program for some reason. And so all these other small programs that do something well, he, you know, basically kills the program while taking what he needs from the program. But in order to kill them, he has them play video games against each other. And it makes no sense. Why are they playing video games against each other? If your thing is that you want to kill them, then just kill them.
I don't know the story behind this movie, but I'm going to wager that they came up with this cool visual style.
Yeah.
And they said, hey, can you make a movie that uses this?
I wouldn't be surprised.
Wrote up a script and said, here you go. Visually, it's really fun. I mean, they got like styrofoam suits on and stuff, but the way it lights up and everything looks really cool. Now, one thing I haven't watched yet, but I will recommend to you, is I do have the DVD for Tron, and there's like an hour-long documentary about the making of, and I think it's all the effects and stuff like that. And I've heard that's really good. Like, that's better than the actual movie.
Yeah.
So one of these days, I'm going to sit down and watch that. But if you enjoyed the visuals enough, you might get a kick out of that.
The other thing that didn't make sense is Jeff Bridges' character. So the main bad guy steals Jeff Bridges' ideas for a couple of ideas for video games. And he's making tons of money off the video games. And Jeff Bridges is really angry. So he keeps trying to get his revenge on the main bad guy. But meanwhile, Jeff Bridges has a pretty good life where he is. He's living in that arcade, goes downstairs, shows off his arcade skills. All the ladies like him. And he goes upstairs and hangs out in his lofty apartment and that. It's like, what's the like? Relax, dude. You got it made. Make some more video games. You're good.
Here, bring up Bill's comment again. Ego.
Everything's ego. Maybe that's it. I have no ego, so I just can't relate to any of these guys.
You have no ego.
I got 0 ego, baby.
I am kind of curious to see the sequel. I've heard it's not very good, but
well, it's on my list too. There's not that much on the Disney Plus, so I'm trying to make the best of Disney Plus, and Tron was one that I just keep meaning to get to. So
I have no idea what's on that channel.
A lot of Disney, a lot of animation.
Yeah, I'll watch some Mickey Mouse cartoons.
Yeah, those are on there too. I did watch the first Mickey Mouse just to say that I've seen it.
Steamboat Willie?
Steamboat Willie, yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen that thing in full.
No, I have now.
He spins the wheel. Whistles.
Yes. Correct.
What else did I put in here? Godzilla slaps King Kong. They put out another trailer for that movie.
Oh, yeah?
And they show Godzilla punching King Kong, which I didn't do in the first trailer. I was curious about that because if you watch that first trailer again, you'll see it's very heavy Kong. Like they play him up. They don't just play him up as the good guy, but all of the scenes are him like getting one over on Godzilla. Like he gets the hit. He knocks Godzilla down. Everyone touts him as being the good one. And I was curious how that trailer would play here in Japan because, of course, there's a little hometown pride. Everybody's going to want to see Godzilla.
Right.
So when they released the Japanese trailer, there's an extra shot of Godzilla getting a hit in and fewer shots of Kong getting hits. Like he still gets more and it's still the same. Hey, right. Kong's going to save us. Godzilla's doing something crazy.
Right.
So I thought they might, in my mind, they're going to send out another trailer that flips it and has Godzilla getting the edge, and do all of his shots and have it be like, because anytime you do these hero versus hero, popular character versus popular character, it's always fight, fight, fight. They don't get along, then they team up and then they fight some other monster and everybody's happy. So I imagine there's going to be some third monster that's revealed, whether they do the Mecha Godzilla because Godzilla's destroying everything. Maybe that's Mecha Godzilla, or they just bring some other monster in. It's just going to be the standard.
And then they're going to have to
A versus B.
Fight together to fight the bigger threat.
Which makes me think that Freddy versus Jason actually was clever in that they flipped that formula where they were teamed up at first.
Right.
Helping each other. And then they had a falling out and they had to, slash each other to pieces.
All right. Do you think they're going to explain like King Kong to like the first movie was an origin story, but he dies at the end. Are they going to like explain this King Kong, like give it some sort of backstory or?
Well, did you see that Kong Skull Island?
No.
No, then
is that a continuation of this? Is that what it?
Yeah, that was the setup for this. So that your original King Kong that climbs the Empire State Building, that doesn't happen in this universe.
Oh, okay.
He's just on his island and he fights some monsters and he's king of that island.
Okay.
So
I hear it's bad though. King Skull.
It's not very good. There's some good, monkey smashing things scenes. Like watch a couple of those on YouTube and that's everything you need to see. All of these monster movies, the human element is never interesting. Yeah. There's nothing fun going on there. You just wait for the monster fight scenes and then it's like, hey, that wasn't that great. All right. Then you're done. That's it.
All right. What's the Defenders?
Oh, that Marvel Daredevil show.
Oh,
I was watching Daredevil season 3, which is still great. I'm so excited. I've got like 3 episodes left or so. And it was this, every season there's like that Daredevil fight that stands out. Mm-hmm. I was getting the feeling like, okay, that fight's coming up. I can't wait. They kind of set a few things up. So you're like, oh man, the end of this episode's going to be so great. And then, I'm watching. And then suddenly they toss you a little twist. And you're like, oh, it's going to be next episode. So I was like, man, I'm so excited to get to this next episode. And then I was thinking, this is so good. I'm enjoying this so much. There's no way they're going to screw this up. They can't possibly screw this up in the next 3 episodes. This is going to end great. That Defender show that happened before this, I still haven't seen. I'm going to wager that that's not as good as this. So I figured, all right, let me stop right here at a point where I'm super excited. Let me go back and start up that Defender show and see what I missed. Because I still want to end on this season 3 highlight, this high note here.
Okay.
So I watched the first 2 episodes of that Defenders, and it's not very good.
I haven't seen it. I've never watched it. So,
well, I've only seen the Daredevil show. So from what I've seen of the other 3 shows, because you got the Jessica Jones, Luke Cage, and Iron Fist. Mm-hmm. They're all merged into this one crossover. And it's not making me interested in watching any of those shows. I still find Jessica Jones to be extremely obnoxious as a character. The Iron Fist guy is guy with a glowy hand and boring as anything. Luke Cage, the actor has at least a little bit of charisma, but there's not much going on there. He's just
I liked Luke Cage.
Bulletproof guy.
I like that one.
I don't know. It just seems to be written very poorly. The writing is so simplistic and basic. Sigourney Weaver's in it.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
That's all I can say.
Yeah.
I watched the first 2 episodes, and now it's like they're starting to meet the other characters.
Right.
So I'll go through with it a little bit. I don't know. But I'm just eager to get back to Daredevil.
Yeah, I'm with Bill. Jessica Jones season 1 was good. Great villain. That was Doctor Who, played the Purple Man. David Tennant. Good actor.
I can't get past her character. She's just.
I like her.
Did they explain why she's just so snarky and?
Geez, I don't know. It's been years since I watched it. I don't really remember. She did have some. I don't know. I found her like kind of cool. I don't
find it charming or anything that she's constantly.
I'm not charmed by her. I'm not charmed by her, but I like her.
Well, I'm not interested in following her story if she's just constantly making sarcastic remarks and flipping people off.
She does have a chip on her shoulder, and I think they do go into why, but I can't remember why. All right. Well, you talking about Marvel shows, it reminded me that I caught up on Friday. I caught up to WandaVision. I was about 2 episodes behind because the overnight guy was actually putting the show in. So I didn't actually have to do it. But then everybody was saying how good the show had gotten. And I did watch that 3rd episode where they actually started to explain some things. Or a 4th episode. I think, yeah, we're on the 6th one. So I watched the 4th. They started to explain something in the 4th. They finally started to explain stuff in the 4th. And then in the 5th and 6th, they're going back and forth to like explaining stuff and then going over to what Wanda's doing. And then they keep going back and forth. And that is making the show so much better instead of just this stupid, dumb thing that they were doing before. And everything was a mystery. And you're like, what the hell is going on? This is much better where you're seeing them trying to figure out what to do and all that. Do you want me to explain it to you? You're not.
I don't care. I'm not gonna watch it.
So basically, spoiler alerts for WandaVision. We're at the end of the show, so this will be the last thing we'll be talking about. So you can stop it if you want. But I'm on episode 6. I think there were 6 episodes, so I watched 6 episodes. So I can't spoil anything beyond that because I don't have a crystal ball yet. When I get one, then I'll be able to spoil it. But basically, what Wanda does is she's like a mutant who has like these superpowers. She can change like reality, and she basically takes over this small town by putting like a dome around it, kind of like Stephen King's The Dome. And so nobody can get in or get out without her. Like they can barely get in or out. And she takes over this town and basically changes everybody in the town to do her bidding, like takes over their mind in that. And the reason why she's doing this, maybe I shouldn't spoil that part because you're watching the movies, but there is a reason why she's doing this. And so at the beginning of the series, it was like an old 50s TV show, like Dick Van Dyke or something like that. And she's living the life of this Dick Van Dyke kind of character. And she's got a husband and that, and she could do like magic tricks. So it's kind of like Bewitched or I Dream of Jeannie or something like that. She can do these magic tricks and the neighbors come in and she's got to like, hide the fact that she can do these tricks and all that. And none of it was making any sense. Like, why is this happening? Like, and then the second episode was like a TV show from the 60s. Then the next one was a TV show from the 70s. And she has like these kids and nothing's explained. And these episodes are just boring. Like, it's just the stuff they're doing isn't funny and they're not explaining anything. And I'm like, why am I watching this? So then in the 3rd episode, that's where they started explaining a little bit, where you see like the people outside and they're trying to figure out how to get into this dome and stuff like that. So then it starts to get interesting. And then they're going back and forth between the TV show and that. So I'm enjoying WandaVision now, but those first 3 episodes they were terrible. They were just executed really poorly, and I think they could have done it better by just giving you a little bit more and going back and forth between the two events that are happening at the same time. That's it.
Okay.
Jessica Jones lost her parents and she had a rough childhood, says Bill. So there you go.
Like Daredevil?
Yeah.
Like
but
Batman?
People handle it in
like
different
Spider-Man.
ways. People handle it in different ways.
Yeah. What are her powers? Is she like... all I've ever seen her do is break door handles.
I don't know. I'm not an expert on her. I only watched the first season. I did not watch the second season.
Is she like super strong or something?
I don't know anything about the character. I'm not a
you said you watched the whole first season.
I watched the first season, but it's not like as if they sat there and explained to her what.
Well, what does she like? What powers have you seen? Does she just break door handles?
They don't explain shit, right? Like
you just complained about that with WandaVision, but now
in that show, it was done better. It was executed better. In WandaVision, it wasn't executed very well at all. Like, I have no problem with mystery and them not explaining stuff. And like, okay, we're going to have some fun with these characters. Let's do let's put them in this world and have some fun with them. And we'll explain stuff later. I got no problem with that, but it just wasn't executed very well. She has, that's right. She has super strength.
Possibly flight. Thank you, Bill. Look at that.
I can remember. It's been like 3 or 4 years since I watched it. Whereas Bill's got the internet in front of him and he looks it up. And there you go. So I don't. So there you go. And then, it wasn't just strength and possibly flight. She has like some sort of mind thing that the Purple Man was after, right? Like she could do some mind shit that, I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Okay. I think that's it. That's all we got.
Well, you mentioned the Marvel thing. I'll just say this. It's looking bleak because I got to get those Godfather movies in. I don't know if we're going to have time for both. So who am I going to turn my back on? Fandango or the MCU?
I think you could get back to it in March. It's not that. I
don't know. I said two a month.
What are the next two? So you watched Iron Man.
I saw Iron Man and the Hulk.
And the Hulk. So you need Iron Man 2
Iron Man 2 is the next one, and then it's either Captain America or Thor after that. Which would be interesting because I'd finally be getting to one that I haven't seen yet.
Mm. It's weird, like when you do like all the movies in that order, like how many Iron Man movies there are at the start, and then they're just gone. There's no more Iron Man movies. He's
in so many of the others,
Yeah. But it's funny how like they really relied on that character at the beginning, and they just kind of like slowly like, okay, now we'll put this out, see how that does. We'll put this out, see how that does. Like they really did it well, like how they planned everything out.
Right. Like, you got your ace, and then you just slowly built on top of that.
Yeah. Okay. That's it.
Just watch one a night. It ain't that easy.
Not everyone can be me. But
my watching time is after everything is done. Everything is cleaned up for the night, kids in bed, and then that's my time. And if I'm not feeling well, or if I opt to, hey, I want to play Ghostbusters, got to make choices.
Do that too. Yeah. That's like every time you do something, you got to sacrifice something else.
Yeah. And some nights just sitting down and watch some of these movies are over 2 hours. Like I can't do that.
They are, yeah.
And sometimes I'd like to be able to watch the whole thing in one clip.
Okay, follow the Cartridge Club's only weekly podcast on Twitter. It's been a long time since I've seen a new start to continue. Very long time. A lot of dust on that podcast. Maybe they'll come back soon. Get a boner with Retro Fandango. Who knows? You might be hearing Boner's voice very soon. You might. On this show. You might.
Am I missing something?
I'm going to work on getting the soundboard back. Right.
Oh, okay.
And don't forget to check out our Discord. Lots of fun stuff. A lot of discussions happening over there. It's a good time over on Discord. That's it. That's the whole show.
Yeah. Did we do anything this week? No, what did we just talk about for an hour?
Well, we talked about enough. That's enough.
I guess.
Yeah. It's all good. We gave them enough. I mean, we don't owe anyone this show.
Fair enough.
Yeah. All right. That's a good place to end it.
We don't owe you nothing. Get out of here.
So if you don't like it, tough. All right. Goodbye, everybody.
Bye.